The Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, through the Directorates of Animal Resources, Crops Production and Fisheries Resources, is mandated to promote and support sustainable and market-oriented agricultural production, food security and household incomes. Livestock production is a major component of Uganda's economy, contributing to the livelihoods of many farming households. The Directorate of Animal Resources is responsible for spearheading the development of the livestock sector in the country. The idea is to support sustainable animal diseases and vector control, market-oriented animal production for food quality and safety, for improved food security and household incomes. One of the major constraints to livestock development in Uganda is disease outbreaks, especially Nagana disease, which is caused by tsetse flies.
In fact, it is over 100 years now, and we have been fighting this problem as a government throughout. Currently, we have a whole agency under the Ministry of Agriculture, COCTO, which is called the Coordinating Office for the Control of Trypanosomiasis in Uganda.
For many years, the Department of Entomology in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries has been responsible for fighting tsetse flies that cause the Nagana disease in animals and sleeping sickness in humans.
You can't succeed in agriculture without fighting the tsetse flies. We have had a lot of efforts on the ground, which government is funding for the fight against the tsetse flies.
For some time, Karamoja has been regarded as a low-risk region. This is because of the nature of vegetation around Karamoja's semi-arid, in which tsetse fly cannot survive. However, the current state of tsetse flies infestations in the whole of Karamoja region is evidence that they have been in existence for some years without knowledge of some government and the pastoral communities in the region.
The signs of Nagana are very common. The animal loses weight. The animal is not in generally not good health. So generally, when the farmers see these signs, this kind of signs, the animal is emaciated, animal has got raising hair, is not grazing properly, loss of appetite. This is a cause for suspicion.
From a recent survey carried out by the Department of Entomology, the district of Kotido and Kabong showed animal trypanosomiasis prevalence of up to 35%, thanks for the support from Food and Agriculture Organization that enabled this survey. Reports from Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries indicate that animal African trypanosomiasis caused by trypanosomes and transmitted by tsetse flies remains a major constraint to food security in trypanosomiasis endemic areas of Africa.
Uganda is one of the countries implementing the Pan-African Tsetse and Trypanosomiasis Eradication Campaign. It is a decision which was made by heads of state and government in the year 2000, Lome Togo, that countries must mobilize resources, financial, human, and control Tsetse, eradicate Tsetse within the shortest time possible. But the community must know that even if you kill one tsetse fly, you are contributing to our tsetse eradication campaign.
Since cattle keeping is a major economic cultural activity of the people in this region, where grazing is done on communal grazing land, government has taken steps.
The northeastern region of Uganda has a problem of tsetse fly. The southwestern region of Uganda has ticks. Both areas have cows. Now, I want this ministry, we do our bit. We help in killing the tsetse flies and in protecting the cows. Because the acaricide that you use to kill the tick also kills the tsetse fly. So if we can quickly get in acaricides, we'll protect the human beings against this sleeping sickness, whatever it's called, from the tsetse flies. And we will also protect the cows.
This gave birth to a 5-year project, the Regional Pastoral Livelihoods Resilience. This is a World Bank-funded project under the Ministry of Agriculture.
When this project was being designed, we did not have a tsetse component in the project because the problem was not the most pressing problem in Karamoja. Today, as we speak, Kabonga and Kotido districts, which border Kidepo Valley National Park, it has become a disease of epidemic proportions.
Aware that 35% of trypanosomiasis prevalence in Kotido and Kabong district is too high to sustain livestock production in the region, an emergency tsetse fly control intervention was put in place. This initiative is to benefit 110,000 households who own livestock in Karamoja.
We bought some insecticide, the broad spectrum insecticide with an active ingredient of deltamethrin. This one for use on applying on livestock. You apply, this is a community-based approach.
We have been intervening in 2 areas. One, trying to kill the tsetse flies on the animals using a chemical called poiron, which is poured on the animal, dissolves in the skin of the animal, so that any fly that bites the animal dies, and the chemical stays on the animal for some time, so it can kill very many flies. We have also intervened in another way by providing a drug, when injected into an animal, kills the parasite that is carried by the tsetse fly.
This intervention was timely, since reports from the district entomology offices indicated that pastoralists from the mostly affected districts were losing 25 heads of cattle per family due to Nagana disease. Many of these pastoralists were not even aware of this disease or its treatment.
In areas where we have applied this intervention, we have seen a significant improvement in the situation by the reduced number of animals dying and the reduced incidence of ticks in the area.
43-year-old Achura Simon from Karenzia sub-county is one of the victims. He lost 20 heads of cattle and 10 goats to Nagana in 1 month. Muzei Longoli Loesei from Kacheri sub-county Morunyanga village is not different.
In 2014, I had 140 cows, but because of tsetse fly and ticks, they started dying one by one, and from then I lost 100 animals in total. But since the power on was started in Kotido, the number of animals that were dying reduced. Actually, the animals stopped dying. Now my appeal to government is to continue with this intervention so that the animals can remain healthy. Locham is a farmer of Lopuyo. Locham Papa Mary, a farmer of Lopuyo. He says he has 100 cows and he's 30 years old. Before the application of Boaon or the tsetse fly intervention in Kotido, he says the animals that he had has been dying. A number of them died because of tsetse, and they had very many ticks all over the cows. But after the Boaons were brought, there has been a great improvement in the health of his cows, and is very impressed by the intervention.
6,000 liters of deltamethrin pour on insecticide were procured by the project. This consignment is expected to cover over 300,000 animals in both Kabong and Kotido. Each liter of this insecticide covers 50 animals.
We are supposed to apply this chemical at least every month for at least 6 to 8 months, also depending on the livestock numbers in the area.
Bioconical Tsetse traps with a combination of Tsetse attractants have been set up by the department. These are geo-referred fixed monitoring sites selected by the department, which are being used for entomological monitoring.
During the baseline surveys, these sites where we are working in recorded as high as 1,000 flies in a trap in a day. But when we put the intervention, now when we are evaluating, the third time we are evaluating now, the flies have reduced to as low as less than 5 flies per trap per day. So for us, this is a very important achievement. Although we are still doing the monitoring, but we still believe that the impact of the emergency power intervention has worked.
According to Kotido District Veterinary Officer Dr. Longoli Joseph, this intervention has saved 25% of the cattle in the district.
Right now we are collecting data from the farmers, and our preliminary data from the farmers indicate that the number of deaths due to Nagana and tick-borne diseases has reduced, and also the number of live birth has increased.
To date, over 120,000 heads of cattle have been treated in the 11 sub-counties of Kabong district. In Kotido district, over 150 heads of cattle have been treated using the insecticide in the sub-counties of Kotido, Rengeni, Kaheri and Nakapelimoni. This has brought hope to the pastoral communities since their animals look healthier to fetch more money than before.
We get animals from Kenya, we get animals from Sudan in our market here, in our local market. But the traders who come from Mbale, who come from Acholi, they're looking for Kabong animals first to buy. Yesterday they bought all the Kabong animals and left all the Sudan animals, left all the Kenyan animals, because ours, we have tried to control the Tsetse flies, we have controlled trypanosomiasis. Our animals are fatter, they are heavier, they look more smooth than those ones. That was a living example yesterday. People who got animals from Sudan lost.
Community involvement is the key in the fight against Tsetse fly to the project. A number of trainings have been undertaken to empower the community. Animal health workers have been trained in regard to animal disease diagnosis, prevention and nutrition.
So the farmers are trained on all these signs. They are sensitized on all these signs so that when the farmers realize that the animal is not in good health, they can present them to the responsible veterinary officers, or at least for this particular program, for treatments with insecticide and or maybe the prophylactic treatment with isometamedium chloride.
We partner with the Kabong district government, implementing their livestock activities at the whole of the entire Dodot in the Kabong district. How do Hajidati let the government of Uganda continue partnering with the other partners who really support this project of having livestock healthy, so that the communities benefit out of this.
This is Kanawat Market, located in Western Division, 1 kilometer from Kotido town. This is the biggest livestock market in the district, where pastoralists bring and sell their animals every week. Before this intervention, many traders had abandoned cattle trade for donkeys in the region. Now, with improved animals, health traders like Anna Grace can move long distances to come and buy animals from here. Anna is a trader from Lira in Lango sub-region. She buys livestock from Kanawat Market, which she sells to South Sudan.
Our business is moving on. When the disease affects the market, the prices shoot so high. Because we are looking for them, we cannot find them.
My name is Badru Choi. I bring rice, beans and posho, which I sell to buy cattle. I then take the cattle to Chibuku district. The cattle and their meat from this particular market is better than that of the previous years.
Zachary Lokuna is the chairman of Kabong Dairy Corporation. By the time this television crew visited Kabong district, he was spraying a corral of 200 heads of cattle. Zachary praises government for sanctioning this initiative in the region. However, the biggest challenge to pastoralists is reinfestation from the Kidepo Game Park, which has remained problematic. Many of the animals that graze here are not treated.
Park as a game park, because
that is the source of the problem.
Of the flies. When
the game
here,
park. Yeah, the game park is the source of the.
So there is what we call.
The Chief Administrative Officer, Kabong, Richard Bukone Sajabi, shares a similar view with Zachary. The vast area of the park constitutes a source of reinvasion, and it makes access to surveys and community-based control approaches difficult.
Any intervention within this district or within the region which targets the elimination or eradication of tsetse flies without targeting the wild in the game park succeeds, but only for a short time. Because the game park turns out to be a breeding center.
Tsetse flies are pests, are insects which mostly habit in swampy areas where you cannot reach easily on foot. And we have been using manual methods of eradicating the tsetse fly, which include spraying, using the spray pumps. We have been using traps, as you know. Some of the areas we're talking about, the dark forests, you can't reach there. A human being may not easily reach there. So they end up keeping in those areas, hiding there, or habitating in those areas.
The challenge, of course, we faced there was basically the understanding of the communities originally was not so good. Some of them could not protect these traps. Some of them are stolen when you are doing the control, the surveillance, data collection using the tools. Some of these tools are stolen. They are used for other purposes. But after sensitization, I think it reduces. But one of the other problems is the accessibility to these areas of operation, particularly during the rainy season. It's been very, very difficult to access some of these problems, and because of the bad roads. And that's where we appeal to the government to make sure that the access roads are dealt with, particularly in the wet season.
Karamoja region, with an estimated cattle population of 2.2 billion heads of cattle, annually experiences socio-economic losses from the sale of milk and beef at a tune of 22 billion Uganda shillings. This is mainly due to tsetse fly transmitted trypanosomiasis. For a successful control of tsetse fly in Karamoja region, there is a need to fill all the entomology posts in the district and provide necessary basic resources to enable constant surveillance and timely provision of the necessary information for decision support in planning control operations.
For aerial spray, you can reach even the hard-to-reach areas. You can reach the national parks. You can really handle those very, very difficult areas using the planes, using aeroplanes, or using the drones.
This is not the first time we are doing aerial spraying in this country. We contained sleeping sickness in Busoga with so many approaches, but also one of them was aerial application. As we speak, other countries which have done aerial application and controlled the tsetse is like Okavango Delta in Botswana. They eradicated the tsetse for the last 15 years. There has not been a tsetse fly caught in the Botswana.